So before we get into some of the details of that, let's say a little more about how SLATE itself works. So as Lincoln has already mentioned, it's a relatively lightweight federation layer that is placed on top of Kubernetes. And it has this concept of an application catalog added onto that. And so our goals in doing that are that we want to be very conscious of security needs and concerns. And we want sites that choose to participate in this federation to retain a lot of autonomy and as much of the administrative control over how their resources are used as possible. For a bit more of the details, the entry point to all of this is fairly standard. It's using institutional identity through CI logon and Globus. And we have a simple permissions model that's reasonably Unix-like, that all logical objects within SLATE are owned by some group. Users are organized into groups and can belong to many groups. And that's how we determine who has the rights to operate on a given object. So in this diagram that we've got on the right side, of course, the fundamental part of this is the Kubernetes clusters across the bottom that choose to participate in the federation. The federation isn't useful if nobody joins it. So those form the foundation of it. Above those, we have this component that we've labeled API server, which is a component that we've written ourselves that runs centrally and manages doing this federation. That presents a couple of different interfaces that can be used by anyone who's working with SLATE. So for example, we have the command line interface and we have the web interface, both of which Lincoln showed off a bit in his demo, and we will be coming back to those and using them a good deal more this afternoon. And then we have this application catalog where we store the definitions of all of the applications that have been approved to run on the federation. The application catalog both serves this security purpose of providing the guarantee that only things that are in the catalog will run. You don't have to worry about arbitrary software showing up from someplace and starting to run on your resources that are joined to SLATE. We found in practice it also can be pretty helpful that it provides a natural boundary between the parts of applications configuration that the people running those services really want to be able to modify, and all of the additional complexity that's necessary to get that going, particularly in a containerized environment that mostly day-to-day nobody wants to have to look at. So an appropriately packaged application in the application catalog, we found makes it a lot simpler to work with. And so, for example, you were able to see how Lincoln could, with only a very small amount of configuration, very quickly start up those stash caches without having to worry about the details of how to put them into Docker, into Kubernetes, and all of the many configuration options of Extra D.